The Rams are playing in their home stadium, SoFi Stadium, and they're the away team in this game, but they're a 4.5-point favorite over Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off that overtime victory at Kansas City, 27-24. Rams beat San Francisco 20-17 in their own house. This game is one for the ages. You've got a young quarterback in Joe Burrow just slinging it around the stadium, and then you've got Matthew Stafford in his 13th year, the savvy veteran. During this playoff run, Coach, Matthew Stafford's been pretty doggone good with the football. 6 touchdowns and just 1 interception, and he's only been sacked 5 times.
Well, he's done a tremendous job, but this is really a very interesting Super Bowl, probably the most interesting of any I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, in the fact that you have one team's a big underdog, but their upside is tremendous. You never know what Burrows and Chase and T. Higgins are going to do as a receiver. When you look at the stats of this game, Mark, offensively, they're almost exactly the same. There's not 1 yard difference in total offense. The biggest difference is the Rams have such a great defense. They've held their opponents to something like 118 yards a game less than what the Bengals have been able to do. But let's look at how this team has been put together. Let's look at the Rams. 9 of their 22 starters, Mark, were first-round draft picks. Their salary is much higher than the Bengals. They have great cornerbacks, probably as best there can be. They have an outstanding linebacker in Von Miller. They have the great one in Darnold, the defensive line. So you look at the talent-wise, you have to go with the Rams. They're so good. They have such great receivers in Cup, and boy, I'm so happy for Odell Beckham, who's come on and been so productive. Everybody said he's a problem. All the players, all his teammates said he's a great teammate. His problem is he wants to win, and finally he's in a place where they can win. Let's look how each team was built. The Bengals were built basically through the draft, Mark. They went 2-14, 4-11-1, and then to the Super Bowl. Whereas the Rams have done it with trades. They traded for Von Miller. They traded for, basically gave away the house in order to get the outstanding quarterback in Stafford. But they have mortgaged the future. They don't have a first-round draft pick, I think, until 2024. So when you look at the Rams, are the better football team. There's no doubt about it, as we talk about all the talent they have. But let's look now at some of the things that are going to affect the outcome of this game. How the team was built. We just talked about that. They sold the house. The pressure is on the Rams to win. They were to Super Bowl 2 years ago with Goff, and that wasn't good enough. So they went out and they traded. They mortgaged everything. This is their year. That's why the pressure is going to be on them. Stafford is a 34-year-old. That's an awful long time to get to your first Super Bowl. But when I look at this football team, and I followed the Cleveland Browns back in 1948 with Paul Brown. He built the Browns then the same way as he's built the Cincinnati Bengals. He does it conservatively. He had Otto Graham at quarterback, Max Speedy and Dante Lavella, 2 great wide receivers. Now they have Chase and T. Higgins. They had great offensive line. Now that's not the case right now. Their offensive line is not very good. The fact that you look at the outstanding quarterback Burrows was sacked 9 times by the Tennessee Titans. But in addition to that, they're just very, very conservative the way they approach it. This is the 3rd time they've been to the Super Bowl. The other 2 times they lost to the 49ers. Now, how close the 49ers came to playing them for the 3rd time. But Burrows has just had a tremendous job. He can be the first quarterback, Mark, to ever win the Heisman, the National Championship, and the Super Bowl all within the first 2 years. No first-round draft pick has ever taken their team to the Super Bowl within 2 years. You look at them, they're down 21-3 to the Kansas City Chiefs. He never rattled, stayed the same, continued to do it along the line. So when I look at it, yeah, the Bengals only have a 33% chance to win. I don't give them that good of a chance, but I think the Rams win this football game 27, the Bengals 24. However, Mark, I would not be surprised if this did turn out to be an upset. It's going to be a great matchup between 2 teams that got there in different ways.
Coach, you make a lot of great points in that. These 2 teams are extremely close. It's got to come down to defense and most likely special teams. Here's one thing that I look at this game. I played in the 3 Super Bowls, and it's the team that handles pregame. It's the team that handles halftime because you're waiting a lot longer. You're out of your routine. Halftime's a lot longer. The pregame, you're going through the introductions. You're standing in the tunnel. It's a lot longer. You're not used to that as a player. You got to learn how to control those emotions. And for me, the Rams have 10 players that have played in Super Bowls. Cincinnati has just one. So I think it's going to come down to some of that experience. And defense does win championships. The team that possesses the ball and does not turn it over will win this football game, or turns it over the fewest times. And the team that capitalizes on the team that turns the ball over, they're going to have the momentum, and most likely they will win this game. I look at Cincinnati, and bro, he's not afraid of anything. You look at the way he's played all season long. This team's playing with house money. Do you think any person in the city of Cincinnati or Cincinnati Bengal fan back in August said, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl? We got a great chance. They had the biggest odds to get to the Super Bowl. Nobody expected them to do that. But you look at the Rams, this team this season. Aaron Donald, when I saw him on the sidelines, reach down and yell at his players and bring his players to the forefront to dig down and give a little bit more in their championship game against San Francisco. They found a way to get it done. I think the same thing is going to happen in this Super Bowl. I love both teams. I would not be shocked if Cincinnati wins this game. I look at the matches. I look at T. Higgins at 6'4" going across the middle against Eric Weddle. Here's a guy that's only played a couple of teams in the last 800 days. And he's played extremely well. He's like second or third on the team in tackles. So that's going to be a big matchup in this game. But what I'm going to look for is the emotion and who can control it throughout the entire game. I think the Rams have that. I think they're settled down. And I know Joe Cool on the other side has had a heck of a season and a heck of a playoff run. But I like the Rams to win this game. And I think they're going to cover. I think the wheels come off for Cincinnati in this game. Although they've had a terrific season, I think when you look at both head coaches, you look at Zach Taylor. He was under Sean McVay. Sean McVay, I don't think he's told him everything he knows. He told him a lot. But I'm sure there's something left that he hasn't seen yet that's still in the tank that he's going to use against this team. I've got the Rams winning this game 31-17.
Mark, you never cease to amaze me with your ability to recall facts and bring things out that nobody ever really thought about. But I agree with you completely, Mark. This game would be won the same way they've won every other game during the course of the season. You got to protect the football. You got to make sure you don't have foolish penalties. You got to make sure that your defense shows up when you pack to go to the Super Bowl. You pack your defense, your discipline, and your togetherness. That's number one. This game is not any different than any other one and the way it will be played. However, as you mentioned, it's the team that makes the fewest mistakes will go on to win the game. But what is great for Joe Burrow, he's from that area. He went to Athens High School in where Ohio U is. He went to Ohio State. Then he transferred to LSU. Normally, somebody transferred doesn't have the success he's had all the way along. So it's about. But here's the key point why I think that the Rams will prevail, Mark. They've been there before. This was not their goal to get to the Super Bowl. Their goal was to win the Super Bowl. Now, for the Bengals, are they happy to be there? Are they going to be encouraged by everything going on and bring their cameras and go there as tourists, make sure they get it all recorded on their video cameras? Or are they going there to win the football game? Yeah, they want to win. But do they believe they can win? Do they understand that there's no tomorrow for the Rams, so to speak? It's now or never. That's why I think the Rams prevail. But I can hardly wait to see it because you have Goliath versus David. And we know how that one turned out. I'm not sure this will turn out the same way.